Hello and welcome. This is Rooflemonger. And my friends, I thought today we'd have a fun little experiment, a top 10 list. Specifically the top 10 moves of Guilty Gear Strive. Now, a few things to note before we dig directly into it. One, this is my opinion and my opinion only, so don't freak out, please. Thank you very much. If you disagree or got some ideas of your own, please post them in the comments below. Next up, we'll be looking at these irrespective of the character tiers themselves. So I'm just going to look at the move for how strong the move is versus how strong the move is attached to the character it is. Spoiler, I don't have a single Soul bad guy special move on this list, but it doesn't make Soul anything less than potentially the best character in the game, right? At least as of the time I'm making this video. So we're looking at the moves removed from the character for the most part. So that said, let's begin here at number 10. So coming in at number 10 is the Travao move, otherwise sometimes known as the Spiral Arrow from Street Fighter fame for Cammy. So the big deal here is, well, it goes forward, covers a lot of space, and most importantly, it is plus on block. Specifically, it is plus 2 frames of animation on block. Meaning, if you want to block the move, and say we both do our fastest move, in this specific scenario here, we'll just have Leo do something like stand punch, right? Well, the thing is, I'm going to mash, and I'm going to win. Because I'm plus, I'm advantage. It's really as simple as that. So just a good way to get in from most of the screen. Doesn't quite hit from full screen, but travels a good part of the screen. Advantage on block. So on block or on hit, the pressure's all yours. If you're lucky enough to get a counter hit, well then just leads to easy bait combos. All in all, it's just a really strong and decent move. And heck, it even beats single hit fireballs. So it's basically everything you could want it to be. It has some weaknesses, I guess, in that there's a little bit of startup. If you see it coming, you can 6P it fairly easily, but that's more than fair price to pay for all the upsides to the move. Coming in at number 9 is Gold Lewis Dickinson, our newest DLC character as of the time making this video, and the Behemoth Typhoon. And Behemoth Typhoon sort of has to make the list, mostly because, well, you know, it's a lot of different moves. It's technically 16 moves, 8 moves on the ground and 8 moves in the air. Considering just the numerical superiority of this, as most moves tend to be, well, one move, I think it very fairly earns a spot on this list. And while not every variation of the move is eminently useful, you know, a lot of them are decent, you know. Some have decent range, some have decent juggle potential plus their advantage on block. Some of them are really advantage on block, and there's all sorts of overheads and lows. So when you take this as a total package, well, maybe not any one singular one of these would have made it onto this list. If we purely go into, you know, the command settings here, it is indeed listed as one move for ground and air, I guess, right? So it's one move as far as the game's concerned, so therefore it makes it on this list. The Behemoth Typhoon is a very versatile move. Coming in at number 8 is the Eisensturm. This is Leo's reversal. So reversals are strong no matter what game, you know, like they're always handy to have. In Strive, they're a little bit weaker because most regular non-super reversals are throwable. They don't have any defense against throws, but regardless, we have here Leo's as a cut above the other options in the game. And why? Simply because it's a charge move. And because it's a charge move, it will always auto-correct no matter what. There's no fooling this move. If you have a setup that might stop Kai or a Soul and make their reversal whiff, it won't make Leo whiff. Whatever side you're on, because the inputs are simply down and then up in the button, he will always be on the correct side, and that's simply why it's a better move than the other two. Not much more really needs to be said. It's a reversal. It's basically the best meterless reversal in the game, so that is why it comes in at number 8. For number 7, Millia and the Tandem Top, otherwise known as the Disc. Now, I said I tried to divorce some of these moves from the characters. This is the hard one, really, because Like, the disc is Milia. Like, this right there is almost the core of the character in a nutshell. Because, hey, guys, you know, it's time to block, right? And what side am I going to be on? Only God knows, really, right? Because I can do so much tricks. Like, I can cross up and recross up. I can not cross up. The possibilities are near limitless, right? This is basically one of the, if not the strongest pressure tool in the game. So just on the back of that and that alone, if you've ever just simply got hit by the sweep with Milia, you know you're in for rolling some dice. Time to flip some coins. And guess wrong, and that's potentially the round and the game. And there's weird, tricky stuff like that, too. Like just running with the slash disc and getting all sorts of weird cross-ups. It's very difficult. This just enables all the mix-ups in the world, and that's why it's one of the strongest moves in the game. For number 6, we're going to be talking Potemkin and the Mega Fist. So I'm going to count both of these under one entry, both forward and back. And Mega Fist is, as much as I love my boy Potemkin, one of the most brain-dead moves in the game. Let's just call it for what it is, right? And brain-dead in a really fun way. So technically, forward Mega Fist is punishable on block, but realistically, as long as you use like even a little modicum of spacing, you're fine. You're good to go. Don't worry, right? And it'll leave you pretty close to them. Depending on the pushback, depending on the character, it'll leave you in a situation where like you can hit them with normals, but they can't hit you with normals kind of deal. And, you know, if it counter hits, well, hey. Thanks for the damage, buddy. Pretty solid counter hit, right? And that's just the forward version. The backwards version, hey, well, this one's plus on block for 1. Yeah, it moves you backwards, but hey, in the corner, plus on block, not bad. Also get pretty big conversions off counter hits. And one of the big things, if you never saw the big Potemkin guide I did, and, well, I suggest you watch it. I think it's a pretty good guide myself. You may have learned that backwards Mega Fist puts you in the air faster than jumping does. Like your actual jump. You actually enter the air faster with Mega Fist than you do by actually jumping. And that gets Potemkin out of a lot of otherwise potentially checkmate scenarios and turns his disadvantage into advantage. There's a lot you can do, and you can steal some otherwise earned opportunities thanks to this very fact. And then there's the Kara backwards Mega Fist, where you do the backwards Mega Fist and then hit forward and K while you're doing it. So it'll look like this. Quarter circle back, forward, kick punch, and you'll do the backwards version going forward. Now, it's not as strong as it was in the betas, but for his combo potential, it opens up so much. So, very, very basic example, but something like that. It gives you extra bounces in your combos that you would never otherwise get. So a lot of the optimal, as it were, combo routes for Potemkin utilize this backwards, going forwards, Kara Mega Fist, because it just simply gives you more combo potential. Now, thankfully for those that not particularly quick fingers, it's not wildly more. You don't need it for sure, but it's strong. So, good brain dead move, gets you out of stuff that never would otherwise work, plus it gives you better combos, so it definitely earns its spot on this list. Okay, so May is on the screen, so you already know what the move's gonna be. Let's get real, right? Mr. Dolphin, Totsugeki! This is a very stupid and strong move. Let's be all the way real, right? We got the fast version, which is barely negative on block, barely negative to the point where it's definitely not punishable, and it allows May all sorts of ignorant setups to try to catch people trying to swing buttons back when it should be their turn. And the heavy version of Mr. Dolphin is just straight up plus on block, because why not? +2 to the point where just the regular hit combos into the fast hit. Like, geez Louise, right? I don't want to belabor this point too much. If you've played this game at all, you already know. But for a move that is very quick, controls a lot of space, the slower version, plus on block, it's your turn, man, oh man. And she can alternate very quickly between the two. And definitely in the heat of battle, it can sometimes be hard to know which one's which sometimes. And then you might accidentally dare to hit a button when you think it's negative, and you'll eat this bad boy to the face for daring to hit a button, right? On every conceivable level, May's Dolphin Attack is one of the better moves in the game, and it earns its spot on this list. Okay, so we have Ramlethal at number 4. I think you know what we're going to talk about here. And it's the Sword Toss. In the move list, it's called like Banjo. I don't even know how to pronounce that. So it's a Sword Toss. We all know Sword Toss. And what does Sword Toss represent? Well, any stray hit is basically a full combo, mid-screen or closer. And mid-screen or closer, it doesn't even really matter. Here we go. The party begins. Because when the sword's on your face and you're on the corner, it's gonna explode. And Lord forbid, maybe you tried to hit a button, you tried to escape, and that probably cost you the game, right? The simple fact of the swords control so much space, the fact that if you're at round start position, you're gonna go to the corner. And there you go, pretty as you please, mid-screen to the corner, no issue, and like that's half your life, right? So the corner carry of the swords is undeniable. It's very strong in that way, and just with the very difficult to deal with pressure, right? Like at bare minimum, if Ramlethal has you in the corner here, and you block, you did the right thing, right? You blocked the move, but this sword's plus on block. And actually, if you're tall enough to get hit standing, this move's even more plus on block. The heavy slash sword, I think, is plus 3 or 4. And I think this bad boy is like almost plus 10, right? So, and that's before the explosion. It's not plus before the explosion. So you're just in lockdown. It's one of the most difficult moves in the game to deal with. And therefore, it earns this place here at number 4 on this list. All right, number 3, getting closer to the end. And for our last 3, these, to me, are the closest to all of them because they're all overwhelmingly powerful moves. But for number 3 here, we have Zato and we have Oppose. So Oppose is one of the most dominant moves in the game. This is just a massive wall of you ain't allowed to play the game here because I, Zato, choose and dictate what's going to happen here. Because it doesn't matter if your move actually even has the range to hit me at this point. It's not gonna hit me, as Eddie, our dear friend here, is gonna absorb everything coming your way. And it doesn't matter how many hits it is, as you can clearly see, right? As long as it has to travel through Eddie some way, some form, somehow, you are not getting hit. And, well, you can do so much at that point. You want to set up a defense in their face, and by no means do you have to let Eddie finish that move, right? You can call the shield and just send them back. So it can be a portable on-demand shield pretty as you please. And also, of course, while people are trying to run from the attack, try to block the attack and just run up and throw them, right? But yeah, you can call it unsummoned as you please. You can use the reflect to just call it, use the shield part, and then send them on the other side, and then do whatever you want to do from there. And one of the bigger frustrating things for some of the matchups is some characters with like very dependent on longer range moves, right? Well, Oppose literally laughs that off. And they can laugh it off to the point where they can hit confirm into a punish. If you see the hit stop of Oppose being challenged, free punish. Thanks for the combo you're about to eat, bro, right? So in certain matchups, with characters with slower and longer range moves, and they need these slower and longer range moves, Oppose lets you walk all over them for free for a lot of the match. As long as Eddie's up, man, Oppose just says you don't get to play your game. And for these reasons and much more advanced things that are even far beyond what I know, this is why Oppose is at number 3. Hey, we're back with Potemkin again. He's on the list for a second time. And he has the number 2 slot thanks to Garuda Impact. So Garuda Impact is a brand new move for him in Guilty Gear Strive. He never had it in previous entries in the series, and it's a blessing of a move. So the first thing I guess we should talk about is it's less if the move hits. You don't really care if the move hits, honestly. Like, it's fun, it's interesting. Like, if you happen to be very near the enemy and it connects, it leads to a guaranteed Potemkin Buster. As you can see, 2-hit combo, right? So that's cool, but the real money is made when the opponent blocks. This move is a guard break for 1, so if you block it, that means you cannot burst out. There is no yellow Roman cancel, there's none of that stuff. You kind of have to deal with what's coming next. And the deal is here, what's coming next? This move is plus 19 on block. Almost a third of a second advantage Potemkin has out of you. And what does this mean? Well, it means basically you don't get to hit any buttons at all. You don't even get the jump. Like, if you block and try to jump out of what's coming next, like, Potemkin's sweep is 13 frames, I think. So it's even faster than before you recover. So if you're holding up, you're just going to get hit by the sweep. You kind of have to guess what's coming next. And what's coming next? Oh, my lordy, lordy, lordy. Really, well, the closer, the more options for Potemkin, but what's coming next? Well, okay, I can Potemkin Buster you. And keep in mind, there's no throw protection frames after a guard break. There is after knockdowns and all sorts of other options, but not after a guard break. So the frame you recover is the frame Potemkin can throw you. So there's that. All sorts of overhead low gimmicks. Hey, have fun guessing, bro, because it's going to happen. And one thing here, it does a lot of chip damage, as you can see here, right? And from that, well, one of the things you can do is simply do another Garuda Impact. You actually only have a couple frames to determine if he's going to do it again. Also, this move is Kara cancelable. So he can just, if he's pushed out in any way, shape, or form, just keep sliding in and making you block Garuda Impact over and over and over and over. It's very easy to do from like any given string, because if you don't recognize it for what it is immediately, well, then you're going to get hit. And then you're going to get hit into a Potemkin Buster or a 6P or, you know, just even a basic combo or whatever. Once you block the first one, that's when the train leaves the station, you know? Because once you block the first one, it's hard to get out. And usually the only way you're going to get out is by getting hit. So for these myriad of reasons, I consider the Garuda Impact to be the second best move in the game. And finally, at number 1, you might be surprised, but Nagoriyuki is here at number 1. And why? For the move, Kamuriyuki. This guy here, otherwise known simply as the Spin. So why is Spin, of all things, here at number 1? Well, if you know Nagoriyuki, you're probably like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. But if not, let me explain it to you. So first off, Nagoriyuki being the big slow boy, one thing Spin offers him is a way to get in and get in fast, as the move has roughly like 75% of the range of the screen, right? So it's a way to get in quick and dirty. That's good. When you are using it as a tool just to get in, it is very easy to combo into forward heavy slash. And does a decent chunk of damage, as you can see here. Like, that's not nothing for a quick two-hitter, right? And forward heavy slash lowers his blood gauge by quite a bit. So it actually refunds a large chunk of the move, meaning, well, then it was not too big of a deal that it connected. And some of the biggest magic here is it's 0 on block, meaning it's completely neutral. So Nagoriyuki is not negative. Now, we have moves in this game. Most special moves are negative to some point in block. Maybe not punishable on block, but negative. Like, you've lost your turn, right? And the moves that tend to be positive on block have like big wind up or slow or something, short range. There's all sorts of issues, right? This guy, you're completely neutral, and once again, from very far away. And to the point, if it hits from very far away, Nagoriyuki actually has advantage on block. So then all of a sudden, you're in that like poke zone. He's probably going to win now. And his crouch slash, pretty good. So this move you can effectively use, minus the blood gauge cost, with 0 consequence. I want to be in, I'm in. End of story. Also, this is matchup specific for long matches, but he actually jumps while doing it, so he can go over some moves, and this includes some of Axel's chains, just FYI. But yeah, so you can just say, screw it, I don't want to play neutral, I'm in. End of story. Like, it combos off all of his hit confirms. You're pretty much always going to get something off of it, like, no matter what. Like, it's so useful in that regard. It moves people to the corner. And once again, with the fact that it is neutral on block, Well, this is where it gets really strong in a lot of ways. So if you're, let's say, the average character, you have a 5-frame move. So now Nagoriyuki is directly on top of you. He has a 5-frame move as well, stand jab. So you're going to clash at bare minimum, right? And this is a multi-layered guessing game, and it's mostly in Nagoriyuki's favor. So if you're using like a stand button, he can just 6p you into another one of those or whatever. You can jump your move and land on top of your head. If you try to throw them, because that is an option, that's part of the guessing game, right? Because throws are faster than strikes. Although, if it hits from like any kind of distance away, your throw is going to whiff, and he's going to destroy you for trying it. It's just so good. The only thing that's bad about it, like, is the blood gauge. If this move wasn't tied to the blood gauge, like, there wouldn't even be a top 10. This would just be, here's the video would be best move in the game, here's the move done, right? There's no point, because no other move would be comparable. The blood gauge is the only limiting factor, but yeah, this is the move that makes Nagoriyuki go for a lot of the matches in the game. So for just how useful it is in every conceivable level, neutral, skipping neutral, combo structure, block string structure, the fact that you get a little bit of a guessing game after a block, and all those reasons, I have to say that Nagoriyuki Spin is the best special move in the game. And that, my friends, is the top 10 list as it stands. So at this point, let me know what you think. Is there a move you really like that didn't make this list? Let me know. If you think the ordering's a little wrong on my list, if you got a different ordering, hey, also let me know. Just once again, it's opinion only, so don't lose your mind or nothing. Come on now. Play nice, right? But otherwise, hey, that's the video, and that's it for me. So thank you very much for watching. Hope this video has found you well. Go out and play some Guilty Gear.